for Jackson Holiday coming up and struggling, the greatest lessons we all learn at times are from our failures and our mistakes. And he learned a ton going 3 for 36 or whatever it was. He learned so much in those 36 at bats that's going to propel him to have an incredible career.
And I'm in love with the good life. Can't give it up. Make it to the top. Keep climbing. I wanna live it up. The good life. I'm coming up. I'm coming up. The good life. Good life. Oh, good life. Good life. Good life. Yeah.
Boom, coming in hot. What's going on, brother?
What's up, man? Looking sharp today with your nice white shirt on. Look at you.
Dude, I left vacation to come down here and do a little show this morning with D-Row and Shahadi and Roflo and those guys for MLB Central. So
Nice.
love it, man.
Nice. They always get fired up when you're on, I feel like. More than they
Yeah, dude, I love it, man. Those guys are great. Just
Yeah.
saw D-Row in the makeup room. I never thought I'd ever say that. I've been seeing other dudes in the makeup room, but that's where it is when you're in TV. You know what I mean? You're getting makeup on.
I know it's funny seeing grown men with makeup on. The best is when you guys like forget to take it off or something and like you go out to dinner or stuff.
Yeah. I know, dude. I leave it on after the show. If it's not like totally caked on, I go, all right, I'm good. Looks like I got a nice tan.
Yeah, there you go. Dude, we got to get into the standings, man. There's a lot going on. And, in basketball, you put a super team together, right? And odds are you're going to get to at least like the conference finals with a super team. The Dodgers are only 5 up right now on the D-backs and the Padres in the West, dude. It's like baseball is just a different breed of sport when it comes to having the best roster. Doesn't necessarily mean you might not have the best team, right?
Well, I think one of the biggest things with baseball is it's such a marathon that like your roster has to have a lot of depth. You know what I mean? Like if you have even if you're the best team in baseball, like on paper, like the Dodgers are, you still have to have depth because you have to account that Max Muncy's going to go down for a little bit. You have to account for, that maybe a superstar like a Mookie Betts is going to go down. So like, who are you replacing him with? Who are you bringing in? So, that's why the Dodgers were very active at the deadline, trying to add into that depth and make sure that, they can make it through the long haul. But I tell you what, Chinch, the Diamondbacks and the Padres are coming fast, man. They are really making a run. I mean, the Padres, have had a pretty good winning streak here, a long one. The Diamondbacks have just been kind of creeping all year long. The Diamondbacks are like a couple games below 500, all of a sudden you look up and what's their record now? Like 60 and 51.
61 and 52, both them and the Padres.
61 and 52, both them and the Padres, man. They are coming, man. So like now we got a race because the Dodgers are still banged up a little bit. You know what I mean? So like the Padres and Diamondbacks are hot. And the biggest thing with these last couple months, whoever gets hot is gonna win it. You know what I mean? Like you just got it. You're in for a sprint now, and we're already into August, and but to see races like that and to see teams creeping, like this is when it gets fun. And there's no doubt Dave Roberts and Ohtani, those guys are now in the rearview mirror. When you're driving down, you're like, oh, how many cars back are they? Like, oh, dude, we can't even see them, bro. They're out of sight. You got to text your buddy and be like, hey, are you guys good? Are you trailing? And then you took back hey, we're 5 cars back. And you're like, you could see the people that are 5 cars back. That's where the Diamondbacks and the Padres are. The Dodgers now they're on the same road now. And now it's a sprint to the end.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. And both the Padres and D-backs have picked up 3 games in the last 10 on the Dodgers. They were both 8 out back. Now they're 5 back. This is unbelievable what's going on. And then, dude, when you get into the wild card, it's even more nutty in the National League, dude. Let me rip off some of these here. We got the Braves, D-backs, and Padres are quote unquote in right now. The Mets are really a game and a half back. Pirates 4, Cardinals 4, Giants 4.5, Reds 6.5. I'm keeping the Cubs in there at 7 back. And hey, the Cardinals are 10 back. They're probably not going to get in. But
well, dude, look at the Giants. The Giants are back to 500.
Yep.
Or right around there.
57 and 57. Yep.
57. So they're back to 500. They're moving up too. It's like it's amazing, man. Like there's some teams if you're really not paying attention, because I think this is the time of year where people just write you off. You know what I mean? Like, oh, they had a bad first half, so all of a sudden, you end up writing these teams off. And then when you start paying attention, like, wow, there are some teams creeping. So I
Yeah.
love that wild card race too. The Buccos are over 500. The Reds are trying to make that run. They just like they're there, and then they win a couple, lose a couple, win a couple. They just cannot get over that 500 mark. Change. They get there and then drop back like five below. So
Yeah.
they're close, man. They're close.
Yeah, but you know what? Maybe have the most exciting player on offense, or maybe more dynamic, should I say? Because I mean, there's a lot of exciting players out
No,
there.
I think you might be right when you say that.
Who am I talking about?
Elly De La Cruz, man, 4 hits last night. And Elly De La Cruz is one of the most exciting players we've seen in this generation. I mean, we're doing some stuff on him on the network, and you look at players with 30 home runs and 50 stolen bases in their first 200 career games. Let me read these stats off to you, Chinch. Bobby Bonds, 38 homers, 52 bags. Barry Bonds, 32 homers, 57 bags. Mike Trout, 39 and 57. Corbin Carroll did it too. Eric Davis, 37 and 87. Number one on that list of those guys, Elly De La Cruz, with 33 bombs and 92 bags, dude, in his first 200 games. Only getting better too. And one of the biggest things is when you see this, when you see him go 4 for 5, or you see him have some of these big days, for me, he's getting better with, his chase rate's getting better. He's doing his discipline at the plate is getting better. I mean, there's so many things that like you can't teach experience. You have to be in the league. When you start seeing those type of numbers go up, where like, okay, man, he's not chasing as much. He's more disciplined to plate. He's hunting the pitches he wants. He's hunting quadrants. You're starting to see that with Elly De La Cruz, and that's why I see you're going to, in these next couple of years, I really believe he's going to go to the upper echelon where you're like, oh wow,
Yeah.
now he's in the conversation with Judge and those guys as one of the best players in the game.
Yeah, he's got 30 points more on his batting average this year than last year. He's added 47 points to his on base percentage. So that's him getting on base. Him getting on base equals him getting stolen bases. So like you always say that. You always get frustrated when you got the fast guy. This guy can steal so many bases, but he can't get on base. Can't steal a base if you don't get to first, right?
You got to get on. And one other thing, he has the 4th largest drop in chase rate the last 2 seasons. That's pretty impressive. That means you're trending in the right direction. So
yeah.
He still punches out a lot. I think that's one thing I think that that they'd like to clean up.
Yeah.
But hey, I mean, you'll take it with everything else. Can you imagine if he puts the ball in play a little more? I mean, dude, he's the kind of guy, it's funny, Chinch, because this Elly De La Cruz's speed with a guy like this, when he would come up back in the day, you'd be like, hey, put the ball on the ground and use your speed. But then he's got so much power, so you're like, hey, just be you.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're going to swing and miss, you're going to swing and miss, because we'd like to see you hit the ball at the ballpark. But I'd also like to see him like put the ball in play a little more, where he could get on base and do some more damage. I mean, dude, this guy absolutely raises havoc on the bases. And here's a great comparison, Chinch, to Ricky Henderson. Season comparisons to Ricky Henderson. Henderson in 1986, De La Cruz this year, 2024. Henderson played in 153 games. De La Cruz is on pace for 159. Their average would be close. 263 for Henderson, 261 for De La Cruz. Home runs, Henderson 28, De La Cruz on pace for 29. Stolen bases, Henderson 87, De La Cruz 82, with an OPS plus. Henderson at a 125 and De La Cruz a 131. So, when you're talking about he's Henderson in 86 had the most home runs in an 80 stolen base season. You're looking at De La Cruz would have one more home run. He would surpass Ricky Henderson. So, when you start talking about Ricky Henderson in the same conversation with stolen bases being one of the categories, now you're an elite player. I think that's where De La Cruz is trending.
Yeah, and add on to the fact that like he's doing this in a time where guys aren't like when Ricky was stealing bases, there were the Tim Raines out there. There were guys stealing 50, 60 bags. Harold Reynolds was stealing 60 bags a year. His distance between the other base runners is out of control for the most part. There's not very many guys doing what he's doing. So to your point, 143 strikeouts leads the league. If he could cut that down just even a little bit more, then a couple of those ground balls are got to be hits. He can beat out a ground ball with short, dude. Like it's
exactly, dude. You kidding me? 100%, dude. He's gonna punch out over 200 times. It's a 30-some% of your bats.
Yeah,
he's at a 32.6% whiff rate right now. So every 3 at bats he punches out. Like that's too many.
Yeah. So if you're a hitting coach, are you working on like a 2-strike approach?
Yes.
Type thing, a choke up, some
dude,
kind of anything?
Up. Yeah, I'm saying choke up, put the ball in play, dude. That's it.
Yeah.
And you know what? When you end up choking up, or I would say like when I got the 2 strikes, dude, I didn't strike out a ton. When I got the 2 strikes, my mentality was, I think 2 strikes is more mentality. My mentality was, I'm pulling this out of the catcher's glove. Like I'm not beating myself early. You're going to have to beat me late. I think that's a great approach for 2 strikes. That gets me more visual. It slows me down because I'm letting the ball, like I said, I'm letting him make that last movement because I'm not beating myself out front. Yeah, you're going to have to beat me late. So, maybe that's a thought process for Elly De La Cruz. Dude, strike out 25% of the time, not 33.
Right.
Cut it down a little bit, and it's going to make you an elite player.
Yeah, and be embarrassed by striking out. You don't see that as much nowadays. It's like when you play, dude, how embarrassing was it to walk back to the dugout, even when you're a little kid? And what did all our coaches teach us? We say it all the time. Like, you take a strike 3, you think it's an inch off the plate. What's the coach say? Too close to take. Too close to take. Still swing the bat, put it in play, do something like that. But hey, he's improving. I can see that he's going to make the adjustments because he's already made adjustments from last year to this year. The guy's only, what is he, 22 years old?
He's still young. I think he's 23, 22,
22. He's in his
22 years old. Exactly, dude. So there you go. There you go. And like I said, it's my favorite line. I tell my kids all the time, but you can't teach experience. Like you got to go out and do it. You can't just, warriors, not librarians. You know what I mean? You can't just look and say, oh, this is what I should be doing. No, you got to go do it, experience it, face the pitchers. And the more he gets to know some of these guys, the better he's going to be. So
great point.
But elite companies, dude. The names that are starting to be thrown around with what he's doing now are the elite players of baseball.
Great point. I want to bring up one other team that kind of a fairly huge news story happened over the weekend, but it kind of went under the radar because everything else is going on, the Olympics going on. But we mentioned the Mets are just a game and a half out of the wild card. But dude, listen to this: the Verlander situation. When they gave Verlander to the Astros, in order to get the prospects back that they wanted, they were paying so much of Verlander's salary so that they can make the deal even, or the even guys, right? Now, Verlander, there was a little something in the trade where the Mets were paying $17.5 million for every year of his contract, but he did not pitch enough or will not pitch enough this year that the Mets are not on the books for that next season. So $17.5 million, where can they put that towards?
What?
The guy playing for the Yankees right now.
Wow.
So here in New York, people are like, wow. And, the patience that they had, not trading some of their big guys early. They look good. They're playing great. Vientos is having a breakout season at for that team.
He really is. I think having Carlos Mendoza as his manager has helped Vientos a lot. Let him relax a little bit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. And, the front office has done a phenomenal job. They are in it to win it this year, but they haven't given too much up. And again, boom, they're getting 17.5 off the books next year to try to go after Soto. I'm if I'm a betting man, I'm saying Juan Soto's a Met next year.
Wow. I don't think so, dude. I don't think so.
With the Yankees?
I think he loves being a Yankee, dude. At the end of the day, he loves being a Yankee.
Does he love him more than an extra $100 million? That's the question.
No way, dude. Stevie Coe is not giving him more. If he does that, that's a different ballgame.
I don't know, man. A lot of books written about Stevie Cohen. I don't know. He still hasn't pulled that monster trigger that has with all that money yet.
But dude, that Lindor one was a big one back,
Yes.
just a few
Yeah.
years ago, over 300 mil for Lindor, so.
That's a good point. And speaking of Lindor, almost like has reverted to an underrated status. The guy makes every play defensively. His metrics, he's up there in the top 2 or 3 defensive metrics. And the dude's going to hit 30 and have 100 again, like he does every year.
Well, it's almost like ho-hum. Oh, he's doing it again, ho-hum.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, but guess what? Mets fans appreciate Francisco Lindor because he posts every day, brings great energy to you, plays great defense, and he hits the ball at the ballpark.
Yeah.
They're driving 100 runs as a shortstop.
Yeah, again, and I'm telling you, a good front office is like so key, especially for those other teams. Because go back to the Guardians, they had to let him go, man. They had to let their best player go, who was a fan favorite. And look at the Guardians right now, 67 and 45. They're now 3.5 up on the Twins in the division. I mean, this team is doing it, and it's not smoke and mirrors. They have a good roster, they have good players, and they are a team to beat coming down.
Dude, they're really good. They're loaded. They're loaded. They have some really, really good players. I mean, Naylor's hitting a ball out of the ballpark. Jose Ramirez is an MVP candidate. Stephen Kwan is top of that order. He's having a really nice year. I mean, that top to bottom, dude. That they just picked up Lane Thomas. I mean, they've done a nice job, man. They do a nice job there. That rotation's good. The bullpen's great. Clase at the back end. So Stephen Vogt's done a great job. The Guardians just keep winning, dude.
They just keep winning.
They just keep winning.
They do. And one other guy I want to. Oh, what were you going to say?
No, I was going to say. Go ahead. You finish that. I got one thing at the end.
Okay, my thing is your buddy. You said call this guy up, call him up. Jackson Holiday is back, and Jackson Holiday is hitting.
No, couple bombs, grand slam. I mean, what was he, 6 for 11 or whatever? He's somewhere over 500 in his first few games.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that like I said before, you can't teach experience. You got to come to the big leagues, experience it. I know I struggled out the gates in the big leagues and finally got my feet under me and started to realize I do belong here. It's a confidence thing sometimes. So for Jackson Holiday coming up and struggling, the greatest lessons we all learn at times are from our failures and our mistakes. And he learned a ton that going 3 for 36 or whatever it was, he learned so much in those 36 at bats that's going to propel him to have an incredible career.
Yeah, he's 6 for 11 in his last 3 games with 3 runs, a bomb, and a double. I mean, and a ribby in each game.
There you go, dude.
That division is something else right now, dude. They're tied, aren't they?
Yeah. They're right.
Who wins it? Who wins that division? Both 67 and 46.
I think the Yankees are going to win it, dude. I just really do. I think they went on that lull, and I think they're taking off, and I think they're going to win it.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I also think like Garrett Cole has not been Garrett Cole yet. I'm talking like ace, A1 ace.
No, but you think at some point he will. He didn't have a spring training and all that stuff, so he'll probably get it going here soon. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah,
and dude,
go ahead.
The last thing is I want to give a shout out to my man Jimmy Leland.
Yeah,
they retired his number on Saturday in Detroit, and what a month it's been for him, or a few weeks here. It goes into Cooperstown. He's forever in the lores of Cooperstown, New York, at the Baseball Hall of Fame, and then his number's retired in Detroit by the team that drafted him. Back in the day. I got 2 quick Jim Leland stories. Jim Leland said when he was drafted by the Tigers, the scout came to his house. And his dad opened the door and he's like, "Hey, Mr. Leland, we'd like to sign your son for $1,000." And Jim Leland's dad said to him, "We don't have that kind of money."
That's
We don't have that kind of money. It was so good. Then one other story, dude, really quick. You got to give the good Leland heater story. We come into Anaheim one day, dude. It's like a late night. It's like 3 a.m. Here we come. And I'm probably 10 back. And Leland's checking in. He's the manager, checks into his room, boom, goes up to his room. Now, about 10 minutes later, I'm finally checking in. I can't wait to check in, get to bed. Leland comes up next to me. He's like, excuse me, Case, hang on. He comes up and he says to the front desk clerk, he's like, "Hey, listen." He goes, "Name's Jim Leland. I'm up there in room 465. He said, somebody's been smoking in my room." He's like, I just want to give you a heads up. She's like, oh, I'm so sorry, sir. I'm so sorry. We'll change rooms. No. I don't want you to change rooms. I just don't want you to charge me. He's like, okay, sir, no charge. And he walks off. And I'm like, what a veteran move that is. What a veteran move. He's crushing heaters up there already.
So
Comes
good.
down to tell me. He said Mark Race taught him that move. Mark Race back in the day used to throw a couple heaters back.
That's hysterical. I remember Torrey Hunter told us, we had him on back in the day, and he said he'd be getting on a plane and walking onto the plane, and there's Jim Leland smoking a cigarette on like a 747, and he's like,
Oh yeah.
is this safe?
Oh, dude, we played poker in the back. I remember one time we were playing poker in the back. It was me, Skip, Maglio Ordonez, and Carlos Guillen. And first off, I had lost a couple bucks in the back. I'm like, man, I'm house. I remember it was the game. I was like, hey guys, I'm the house today. I mean, I'm losing because Maglio's the house. I'm the house. So we're in there, and it's like a flight to it's like a West Coast flight, and Skip is smoking. And I remember saying, Skip, I don't think you can smoke on flights anymore. It's 2007. He's like, hey, when you're the skipper, the rules don't apply to you on the flight. I go, all right, good point.
He also, and you think about where he came from, those Pirates teams in the beginning were not great when he was there. He had that great joke on our when you interviewed him, what was it? It was somebody broke into my car and left 4 tickets to tonight's game. Like, and now he's in the Hall of Fame, man. So God bless him.
Oh, great. What a journey.
Did you see when he got his number retired, before he left the field, he ran over to the dugout and he told the players, he goes, now go get me a bleeping win. You didn't say,
no, he's dead?
Yeah.
Did they win? Do you know?
I think they won. I hope they won. I don't know. Let's say they did. It's a better story that way.
So great, dude. He's the best. All he wanted to do was win, dude. That's why he wore spikes into the dugout. Spikes.
That's amazing.
It could be 8-0 in the ninth with 2 outs, and he's still over there sweating, biting his nails. The best.
It's so great. So great. They don't make him like him anymore.
Oh, he's the best, dude. He's the best.
All right, so we're keeping our eyes on this Dodgers situation, man. Can you imagine if the Dodgers don't win that division after every?
Oh my gosh, you kidding me? They spent $1 billion. They spent $1 billion on 2 pitchers, on 2 players this offseason. Yamamoto has been banged up most of the year, or a lot of the year, and Ohtani doesn't even pitch.
It's unbelievable. That would be an epic failure if they don't win that division. So we'll see how that goes. Say hi to my boys today and my girl.
All right, man. I will, brother. I will, man. Great seeing you, Chinch, as always, man. I gotta get back to get on the show, back to the Jersey Shore. I got so much water in my ear right now. I can't even hear. I can't even hear right now. I was riding the waves yesterday with Jilly. It was incredible. So, all right, brother, man. Love you. Hey, everybody out there, thanks for listening. We really appreciate you. Catch everybody tomorrow. See you.